morning.
I asked you about Clark last night. He wasn't on the game status injury report. Was it injury related? Or?
No, it was again. It's a guy that we felt was wore down a little bit, so we felt we'd give him an opportunity to rest up, and decided to go with the younger guy.
How did you think Marshall played?
But Marshall played well. Had an opportunity to watch it. He had a couple holding calls. But, for a guy that's getting his first opportunity to play, I thought he handled it very well. The previous week, I think he had 4 or 5 snaps in our jumbo package. He did a really nice job. And so we just talked about it and thought, this might be a good opportunity to see how he holds up.
And I have to ask, was Matt Khalil ever considered as y'all were going through that?
No, not currently. I mean, again, he's going through his rehab, and we'll continue with that, and we'll go from there.
Obviously, a lot of questions about Cam last night. Have there been any conversations with the medical staff today, and any conversation with Cam about what you could do?
No, and you guys know I won't visit with them until later today. The players, for the most part, are sleeping in, fortunately for them, and they won't be coming in or checking until later today. So I won't know anything in terms of that as far as talking with the doctors.
I'm just kind of hoping for some clarification because we obviously want to be right when we write this, but it seemed like either I'm wondering if Cam is either not in the dark about what is actually the problem, or if just generally you guys aren't sure really what the issue is.
That is a question for the medical staff because I can't tell you. From what I've been told and everything, my understanding is everybody's understands what's happening. So again, that's not for me to answer, to be honest with you. I think that's more a question for the medical staff and for Cam himself.
If you guys don't have a lot to play for the last 2 weeks, why play him? Risk any more injury to it?
Well, I mean, believe it or not, there's still a slim glimmer, so we'll see. But again, we'll continue to focus in on playing football. We've got Atlanta coming to town, and in all intents and purposes, we play to win.
As long as there is a slim glimmer, does that mean you're going to go with Cam if you think he gives you the best shot to win?
Yeah, I mean, again, but like I said, I haven't talked to the doctors or the trainers or Cam himself today, so we'll wait till we have conversations, see where we are.
But you watched him last night, and you obviously went in between your defensive series. I mean, do you think him in his present state still gives you the best chance to win?
Well, I believe in Cam, so we'll leave it at that.
Is it frustrating with a game last night, like the way the defense played? Luke and Thomas have such spectacular individual efforts to not put enough points on the board to get the victory?
It's frustrating when you lose as a football team. It really is, because it takes all 3 phases to play, and hopefully all 3 phases play well, and when one doesn't, yeah, it is. But, for the most part, you win and lose as a team.
Ron, a couple weeks ago when we talked about future defensive changes, how do you balance that and then kind of thinking about what is in the future and what the team needs moving forward with also staying in the present and evaluating where you're at right now?
Well, again, I think you have to look at what you have and who you have, and I think we've got a good group of guys right now. We have some young guys, obviously, that most certainly do feel that we'd like to see more of. There may be opportunities going forward, but again, each game, I've said this before, each game has its own personality. See how the games unfold. I mean, again, as I said, Atlanta's coming in. We're going to play to win.
And at what level do you foresee changes throughout, whether it's coaches, staff?
Well, once the season's over and we get an opportunity to take a step back and evaluate, and we'll go from there. It's to me the process is what it is now, and we'll continue. As I said, to game plan and prepare to play a football game in order to win the football game.
So that process doesn't begin until the season is over.
Correct. Until the season's officially over.
Ron, you and Cam have been through a lot together. Last night he was about as maybe resigned as he's been. Is this a new almost level of frustration or low that you sense in him right now?
For him, yes. I would say just, from what I've known and what I've seen, this was a tough one for him. It was a tough pill to swallow, and knowing him, he's going to put a lot of responsibility on himself. And, we'll get an opportunity to visit and talk, and, I get a chance to see where he is mentally, and hopefully he'll be able to get past this one quickly, and we'll go from there.
One meaning game or this stretch or?
Tough game, tough stretch, tough season. I mean, it all kind of blends itself together, and as I said too, this is been tough, and it's been tough on him.
Ron, y'all entered yesterday with the second worst red zone defense. Saints were fourth best red zone offense. Where did that resurgence come from you guys in that area of the field, though?
Well, I thought the guys focused in and did a really nice job in terms of preparation this week. I think, we've changed some things. We've done a couple things differently. We've focused on a couple other things. And I think what happened is I thought our guys played fast. Dante's play was he played with great vision. He put himself in good position to see through the receiver, saw the ball being thrown, and was able to step in and make a play. We, as I said, just played fast down there because, some of the things that we changed. And I think that's been a benefit to the players.
Was that one of your priorities when you took more control over the defense?
It was one of the things that we talked about in terms of being able to give these guys more of an opportunity to play fast. And part of that, too, is if you limit the responsibilities on them and give them a chance to make decisions to play fast, I think that really helped the players.
Ron, what will you take from the 2016 experience with Cam at Tampa and those conversations, and how would that potentially shape your conversations this year?
Well, we'll see. Joe, I can't tell you, what I'm going to say until I get an opportunity to know where he is. In terms of his physical state and his mental state. I mean, it's a tough situation right now, and we'll see. But until I get the chance to visit with him, I'm not going to speculate.
He did say last night, Ron, that his understanding, as he's been told, that he's not really getting better or worse. It's sort of static. Is that your understanding as well?
Again, I'm not going to speculate on anything medical. I'm staying out of that. I've been chastised before, and I'm not going to cross that line.
Ron, going back to somebody else out of the.
That's all right.
Sorry about that. Ron, a lot of people talk about the future. Maybe not so much the process, but what is your mindset when you think about the future of the organization and your future? How do you go into that if you talk about the future, with family or friends or anything like that? How do you?
I just talk about going forward. I mean, and to me, going forward is we got Atlanta this week, and so that's pretty much the focus. I control what I can, and that's one day at a time, and that's right now preparation for Atlanta. Once I'm done with this conversation with you guys, it'll be all about Atlanta going forward to get ready for them.
Do you hate that question?
Oh, absolutely, I do, because I don't know. I mean, I can't tell you. I really can't. I've been through it a couple of times. My first two seasons, and but at the end of the day, it comes down to one person, and that's the only one who knows. So, again, I just focus in on getting ready for Atlanta, preparing this football team to go forward, and we'll see what happens.
Do you like play calling?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was different. Last night, I think I was rusty the first couple of times I've done it, but last night I thought things really kind of came together. I thought the way the defensive staff handled things for me was spectacular. I thought we had a good week of preparation. I really appreciated Eric's attentiveness and his work and effort in putting things together. Steve Russ handled the linebackers and really helped with a lot of the adjustments. I thought Sammy and Eric working together with the D-line was good. And then Richard handling the defensive backs was solid. And they provided me with a lot of information as the game was going along, and I think that helped me in terms of settling in. Like I said, the first time doing it was a little different, but now I kind of got my feet back under me a little bit, and and hopefully we can continue this and play well as we finish up.
Given what
response?
you said about the uncertainty, would you like to sit down with David Tepper, and or is there anything scheduled where you're planning to?
No, we'll do what we always do, and that's, we communicate constantly. Marty, he and I, we talk constantly. So, when the moment's appropriate, again, it's like I said, Mr. Tepper will, when I guess the moment's appropriate.
Is this
Going
your
back to what
responsibility,
you-
something you could foresee continuing next year?
We'll see. I really do appreciate, the way we've handled things, and I think for us as a football team to go forward, we've got to continue to grow, all of us, and we'll do that. And again, I'm just going to go forward and focus in on Atlanta right now.
Right, going back to what you said about, I guess, relieving some of the responsibility on players to allow them to play fast, is that, just for clarification, does that mean like simplifying what they have to do so that they can, I don't know, I guess, can you?
I think it's a combination of things. I do think some of it's simplifying. I think some of it's to a degree limiting what we do. I think that helps as well. And again, it's kind of just what we looked at, and I think we decided just that limiting things would help to begin with, and then simplifying some of the rules. And I think that's helped our guys.
Ron, you've always emphasized self-scouting, and you've always been willing to do that yourself. I'm wondering, when you say everybody needs to grow, I'm wondering if you can share where you feel you might need to grow.
Well, I think there is a lot to when you think you've learned it all, then it's time to move on. And I don't think I've learned it all, so I'll just continue to look at things, evaluate, and learn from the positives and the negatives.
I'll ask you a stupid question,
Go
probably an
ahead.
obvious one, but do you want to be back here, and do you want to?
That is a stupid question. That really is, and I'm not going to answer that one. I'm very happy where I am. I really do appreciate my place here on this football team, and in this city and in this community. So.
Ryan, you've been spending more time with the defensive backs lately. You talked about Dante's performance. Did you think Eric Reed and James Bradbury had some of their best games, and not their best games last night?
Well, I'll say this. I think Eric Reed has played very well since he's been here. He's done a heck of a job. He did play very, very well yesterday as well. And he's had a couple other really good games. I think he's really gotten a good feel for what we do. I thought James, I was very happy for James to see him play as well as he did. He had a rough stretch a couple weeks ago. But you look at what we asked him to do, and that's to mirror the team's number one receiver, and I thought he did an admirable job yesterday, and it was fun to see. It was good to see him get a couple of big plays that really helped us in terms of the interception and then knocking the ball loose on the goal line. I mean, that was great to see. It really was.
Yeah, I know we're not at the end of the season just yet, but with what you said about Eric, is he somebody that you would like to see on this team going forward into the future?
As a member of the football team, yes. I mean, he's a football player, and he's done a great job, and he fits very well into the system that we have.
Continuing that positive note, Christian broke the franchise record for most yards from scrimmage yesterday and threw a touchdown pass. Are we kind of like scratching the surface of what he can do?
I think what Coach Turner, what Norv's done with the offense is I think he's putting players in position to make plays, which I think is important, and you guys have heard me talk about that. And I think I don't want to say we've scratched the surface. I think what he's done is he's found ways to use players to the best of their abilities, found the matchups that he liked. And because, again, remember, there have been a couple of games where Christian's numbers were limited, but somebody else's were high. So, again, there's one thing I believe Coach does is he looks at the matchups, he looks at how he's attacking somebody, and then he calls the player's number.
You talked about Cam for the last 2 weeks of the season, but Christian's played every snap for the past 5 weeks. Is there any thought of maybe toning down his usage?
We'll use Christian, to how we feel is best for him. And again, he's one of those guys that really doesn't want to come out either.
Hey, Ron, given what you said about the uncertainty, and I'm not saying this is the case, but if these last two games might determine your future here, how do you weigh that in with these kind of questions about Cam and Christian and all that?
I'm getting ready for Atlanta. That's the best thing I can do is prepare for that football game, go out and play the best we can, hopefully win a football game, and then we'll get ready for New Orleans. That's all I'll do it, Joe. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Ron.